Hello friends, welcome to my channel MN Coaching Center. Hi, today I'm going to explain your 7th standard geography 10 chapter life in the deserts. In your geography chapter 5, you have seen that water means that is for life for plants, animals, and people living in the land. So it is difficult for anyone to live in the place where you don't have any water to drink, where there is no grass for their cattle to feed, and where there is no water to help their crops to grow there. So now we are going to learn. So we are now going to learn about the place in the world where peoples have learned to cope with extreme harsh temperature, with very more temperature, where people learn to cope up with it and try they are living with that temperature. So um, in some places you can see hot as fire. There will be very hot places like deserts, Thar desert, Rajasthan you can see, and some of the cold places that have icebergs like Himalayas. There you can see there are very much icebergs. So there are more desert areas in the world. You can see desert areas in the whole world. These are characterized by low rainfall. You can characterize their desert areas by low rainfall, scanty vegetation, and more temperature. Depending upon the temperature, there can be hot deserts or cold deserts depending upon what temperature there it has. So the people inhabited these lands when wherever little water is available. These lands for where the people inhabit these land wherever the little water is available to practice agriculture. The hot desert like Sahara desert. Here is the image of Sahara desert. So looking at the map of the world and the continents of Africa, looking at the map of the world and continents of the Africa, we have to look at the Sahara desert. Look at the Sahara deserts that are covering a large part of North Africa. You can see the Sahara desert, which is covering a large part of North Africa, and it is world's largest desert that has an area of around 8.54 million square kilometer. The Sahara Desert touches, and do you recall that India has an area of 3.2 million square kilometer desert? The Sahara Desert touches even some countries. These are the countries like Algeria, Chad, Egypt, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Morocco, Niger, Sudan, Tunisia, and Western Sahara. These are the places that are covered by the Sahara Desert. When you think of your deserts with a picture, when you think you get an immediate picture comes to your mind is that sand. There will be sand, but beside the vast stretches of sands, beside these sands, that Sahara desert is covered with. They are also the Sahara desert is covered with gravel plains and elevated plateaus that have some of the rock surface, and these rock surface is more than in the height of 2,500-meter height. In some places it is. So here you can see the Africa. Here these are the parts of Sahara that has that has places covered like Algeria, Morocco, also some places of Morocco, Libya, Egypt, Sudan, Chad, Niger, Mali, and Mauritania, and Western Sahara Desert also is. You can see. So climate in the Sahara Desert is very much hot and parched dry, very much dry you can see, and it has a short rainy season. It has a little bit rainy, short rainy season, not more rain. The sky is cloudy and clear. So sometimes the sky is cloudy, but more it is clear. The sky is clear, and here the moisture evaporate faster than accumulates. So moisture is evaporated more than accumulates in the Sahara Desert. Days are very much hot. You cannot believe how much hot the days is, and the temperature during the day may be so as high as 50 degrees. So the temperature may be 50 degrees Celsius in the day. heating up the sand and the bare rocks. By this temperature, there will be heat absorbed by the sand and the bare rocks, which in turn radiates heat, making everything around hot. So, which then radiates and it makes everything heat around them that is present. The nights may be freezing cold. They may be little bit cold in the night with temperature nearing 0 degree temperature. There may be freezing cold in the night, but the morning is very much hot of with 50 degrees Celsius. Next, flora and fauna means what all the plants grown in this desert. So vegetation in the Sahara Desert includes cactus, date, palms, acacia. In some places there are oases that are the green islands. In some places with the date palms, the places that is covered with the date palms, camels, hyenas, jackals, foxes, scorpions. There are the varieties of snakes and lizards, or some of the animal species you can find in animal species that are living in these Sahara deserts you can find. So here you can see the oases in the Sahara desert, means they are the date plants. Here you can see dates. So as there are plants and some animals are available, little bit plants and animals are available. So for the people maybe also living in the places, let us know, does people live in these places or not. The Sahara Desert, despite of its harsh climate, because of its harsh climate means very much high temperature in the morning, that is 50 degrees Celsius, has been inhabited by various groups of people. So, but also with its harsh climate, has been various groups of people living in the Sahara deserts. They who do some of the different activities. Among them are the Bedouins and Tauraks. Among them, the Bedouins and Tauraks are some people. These groups they are the nomadic tribes. They rear livestock like they rear goats, sheep, camels, horse. These all the animals they rear, and these animals provide them some with them milk, hides from which they make leather for belts, slippers, water bottles. Hair is used for mats, carpets, cloths, and blankets from the sheep, and they wear heavy ropes as protection against storm and hot winds. So against this they wear the heavy ropes. The oasis in the Sahara and the Nile Valley in the Egypt support settled population. So the oasis, there are the dates plants that are surrounding that land, and the Nile River in the Egypt that gives some support for the people living in that place. And since the water is available, since there is an availability of the water, the people also grow some date plants. Crops such as rice, wheat, barley, and beans are also grown in these places sometimes, and Egyptian cotton that is famous in the worldwide is also grown in the Egypt. So the discovery of oil, a product of great demand, the oil that is great demand in the whole world. In Algeria, Libya, and Egypt, they are constantly transformation. You can see that in these places, you can see this the oil and other minerals of importance that are found in the areas. You can find other minerals. The minerals like iron, phosphorus, magnesium, and uranium in these deserts. The cultural landscape of the Sahara is undergoing change. So there may be change in the landscape. Gleaming glass cased office buildings, towers or mosques and superhighways crisscross the ancient camel path. Trucks are replacing camels in the salt trade for trade of salt, and Tuareg are seen acting as they are Tuareg, the tribal people, they are working as guide for the tourists, and more nomadic herdsmen are taking the city life, finding job in oil and gas operation. They are finding their job in the oil and gas operation. The cold desert, Ladakh. So now let us come to our India. So in our India, Ladakh is very much cold desert that is lying near the greatest Himalaya in the eastern side of Jammu and Kashmir. In the map you can see these all the places of Ladakh. And the Karakoram range in the north and the Zanskar mountain that is located in the south enclose it. They enclose this Ladakh, and several rivers flow from Ladakh and through Ladakh, Indus being the most important river among them, and the rivers from deep valleys and gorges. The rivers from deep valleys and the outermost gorges. Several glaciers have been found in the Ladakh, like example Gangri Glacier is found in the Ladakh. The altitude in the Ladakh varies from about 3000 meter in Kargil to more than 8000 meter near Karakoram. And due to its high altitude, the climate is very much extremely cold and dry climate there. And the air at this altitude is so thin, and heat of the sun can be felt intensely. You can feel some of the heat of the sun as it is in the height of 3000 to 8000 meter. And the day temperature in the summer or just above 0 degrees Celsius is the day temperature in the summer, and the night temperature will be below minus 30 degrees Celsius. And it is freezing cold in the winter. The temperature remains below minus 40 degrees Celsius in the winter. In the most of the times there will be minus 40 degrees Celsius in the winter in the place of Ladakh. And as it lies in the rainy shadow of Himalayas, the Ladakh lies. There is a little rainfall. You can see there is a little rainfall in the places of Ladakh, as there is a rainfall of very low rainfall of near 10 centimeter every year. You can see 10 centimeter rainfall, and the area experience freezing winds. You can see very much freezing winds and burning hot sunlight, very hot sunlight, because it is at the height of 3000 meter to 8000 meter height from the sea level or more. So you can see very much hot and cold there. And you will be surprising to know that if you sit in the sun with your feet in the shade, you may suffer from both sunstroke and frostbite at the same time. You may suffer with these problems if you sit towards the sun, if you sit outside at this time. Next, what all the food and people and animals you can see the air, flora and fauna. Due to high aridity, the vegetation is sparse. Due to high aridity, the vegetation is sparse, and there are scanty patches of grasses. There are very much grasses and shrubs for animals to graze. And groves of willows and poplars are seen in the valleys. In this valley, you can see willows and poplars. And during the summers, fruit trees such as apples, apricots, and walnuts are grown in these places. And several species of birds are also seen in Ladakh, like robins, redstart, Tibetan snowcock, raven, hoopoe. They are some of the common birds you can see in the places of the Ladakh. And some of these are migratory birds. So some of these are the migratory birds. They migrate from one place to another place. And the animals of the Ladakh, they are the wild goats, wild sheep, yak, and some special kind of dogs are also seen in the Ladakh. And the animals are reared to get some of the milk, meat, and hides from them. And hak's milk is used to make cheese and butter. The yak, that is, you can see a species of cow only. And the hair of the sheep and the goat, they are used to make the woolen there, as it is very much cold there. Now let us come to the people living in this cold region. So do you find any difference between the people living in Ladakh and people living in that Central Asia, Tibet? The people here, either they are the Muslims or Buddhist, and in the past Buddhist monasteries dot the Ladakh and landscape with their traditional compass they have. And some famous monasteries you can see here, the Buddhist monasteries or the Hemis, Tikse, She and Lamayura. In the summer season, the people are busy by they cultivate the food things like barley, potatoes, peas, beans, and turpin. And the climate in winter months is so harsh. The climate in the winter month is very much harsh that people keep themselves engaged in festivities. They keep engaged in their festivities and ceremonies. They keep engaged, and the women are very hard working in these places. They work not only in the house and fields, but also they manage some of the small scale business, and they also do for manage their shops. They keep shops. The capital of Ladakh is well connected. Both the capital of the Ladakh is connected with both road and air also. And the national highway 1A connects Leh to Kashmir Valley through Soji Lal Pass. And tourism is a major activity that you can find in the several places of Ladakh. Several tourists streaming in from India and abroad come to these places to see these places. And they visits to the Gompas trek to see the meadows and glaciers. To see the meadows and glaciers, they go to Gompas Lake and witnessing ceremonies and festivals. They are the very much in ceremony and festival. They are the important activities done by the people of the Ladakh. And life of the people is undergoing change due to some of the modernization, but the people of Ladakh have over centuries they have learned to live with balance and harmony with their nature. So due to scarcity of resources like water and fuel, they are used with reverence and care. Nothing is discarded, nothing is wasted in the places of Ladakh. Next, Manali. Leh Highway crossing four passes. Leh Highway crosses four passes. They are the Rohtagla, Baralachala, Langalachala, and Tanglangla. And the highway opens only in the month between June and September. And when snow is cleared from the road, only that time it is opened. And in the other times, their road are closed. So after this, here you can see some of the questions and information they have given. So okay friends, this was your last chapter of your geography, that is the life in the desert. So I think you understand your last chapter, life in the desert. So I will soon in my next video explain another chapter of your another new subject. Till then, take care, have a nice day, bye my dear friends.